Hi everyone. Thanks for joining me for part 4, the last section of our mystery, of our virtual catalog launch party, and we're doing a mystery card. I'm looking at one thing and thinking another. Thank you. I hope you've been able to join back. I've seen quite a few of you online today on the other presentations, so I hope some of you have been able to join us again, and I hope you were able to prep your supplies to make the mystery card with me. Hi Mary Lou, glad you could come back. How's your scrapbooking day going? Hope you're getting lots done. You'll have to post some pictures of some of your work today. So I am going to use my favorite catalog suite, the Hues of Happiness. So, that's what I'm using for my mystery card, or the sample, I guess. It's not a mystery to me. But hi, Friday. Glad you could be back. Mary Lou, you're working on your COVID album. That sounds interesting. Nice. What do we have? 401. We'll just give it a minute. See if we get a couple more people before we start. Yeah, I'm using the Hues of Happiness DSP and the stamps. I'm going to show you some fun things with those too while we make the cards, and show you another sample. I made another card using the same suite, plus another suite that's going to be retiring for Mother's Day cards. So hopefully my mom's not watching, or she'll see her card before she actually receives it, but that's okay. Yeah. Okay, we've got 402. You know what? Let's go ahead. Those who are a little bit late joining can always watch the replay. Yeah, Mary Lou, depressing for sure. I can whoops, forgot to turn you around first. Oh, Friday, my craft room. That's why I decided I'm going to turn this way so it doesn't look quite as bad. Oh my gosh, what a mess. I need to turn my camera around. Here we go. Okay. My water and my desk is messy too. Believe it or not, I cleaned it up yesterday. You should have seen it before. It was a disaster. All right, why do I look? Did I zoom in? I don't think I zoomed in, but I look closer for some reason. Here we go. Oh, maybe just because it's a bigger. Make sure I get to the edge here. Okay, hopefully you can see. I have my iPad set up too so I can watch. There we go. So I can watch it and make sure there's no funky things going on in the video. So, looks like we're set up. Okay, so Hues of Happiness. This is the paper. And I did a little sample card here just to give you a glimpse. But I'm going to show you some of these papers because they're gorgeous. And a little 2x2 square just doesn't give the full picture. Now, I think my lights are causing a little bit of glare. I'm going to try to tilt it a little bit. Hopefully that's okay. So maybe it's worse. 6 different designs of paper, double-sided, of course. So we've got 12 different designs. And there's 10 coordinating colors with this suite. So makes it very versatile. And I love these colors. They're just so... just my kind of colors for sure. So Hues of Happiness, the DSP. So I'm just going to take out a few sheets to show you. I keep my scraps in little pouches like this so I can get them easier. And this is some of the flowers that I've cut out. So pull this out just so you can get a better look. This one, I've cut, this was for my sampler, but here I've cut some flowers out. So the dies, maybe I should show you that before I go on. The dies and the stamp set The dies cut out the stamps. So all these images in the stamps cut out with the dies. Plus, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dies that actually cut out these flowers. So I didn't have to worry about stamping and coloring them. I just cut them out. So I've got, I'll show you a couple I have here that I cut out and didn't use. And then some of the other stuff we have here from the die set. So we've got, see these two flowers here are cut out with those dies directly from, see, this is one of these flowers from the paper. So easy, just put the die on. Now, I cut like this rather than cutting a strip because I didn't want to ruin any flowers and cut them in half. So I kind of cut around them, and it cuts out the leaves too. So there's a die that cuts this leaf and one that cuts these leaves here. These little tiny flowers, there's no cutout. If you want to cut those out, you do that on your own. So there's some blue, purple, teal, more teal. Oh, there's a leaf stuck back there. And the paper itself, like in a little square, you can't see all the colors, right? So this sheet is the yellow and the two pinks. The back is this beautiful rainbow color. But I hate to cut up the flowers to use the rainbow. I can see myself getting another pack of this paper. It's beautiful. This one has the teals, the dark, this would be the starry sky. And then I think fresh freesias probably. And then another rainbow with those colors in it. Hold on, I'm going to put these little things away before I make a mess here and lose them. So this one doesn't cut out with the dies. This one also has the pretty rainbow paper on the back. And this one I used in my mystery card, so you'll see it in a minute. This one has the smaller flowers, also in different colors. Another rainbow on the back. This one, again, doesn't cut out, not with the dies anyway. Very pretty, though. This one has flowers, blue background. I think it's the starry sky. This one is really pretty. And this is the one oh, that's two of the same one. So yeah, we're getting to the doubles. This one has, it's kind of like, it's not really stars, I guess. It's just X's or T's in rainbow colors. This is the one I used to make my Mother's Day card. I know, Cheryl, it's gorgeous paper. Yeah, Friday, that's the problem. You have so much paper, but so this is the card I made for my mother and my mother-in-law using this paper. So I used the heart die from, did I put it in here? Oh, I didn't. It's from the hybrid, it's actually, oh, here it is. It's retiring, and it's in the mini catalog. The Bouquet of Hope. And this is a hybrid die and embossing folder. So the embossing folder, let me just show you this up close. You can see the texture in that. It's like all the flowers and everything. I hope I'm in the frame there. And it actually cuts an impression of a heart in it. And then there's flowers in between. So like this. So I use the heart die, the large one. Of course, it fits perfectly because these two come together. And cut out the paper, this paper. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but of course I use Wink of Stella on there. And then these little flowers are also from these dies. And this banner, the sentiment is retired. This is from the Strong and Beautiful set. But the banners, I used the seasonal labels die. So I used this long one here. And then it has these two little end pieces that cut out the holes. So I did that. and then weave the ribbon through. And this is the in color ribbon, this one. And I didn't have a yellow, so the pink went well with the pink and the flowers. And so when you're die cutting your flowers, one thing I wanted to remind you of, when you get a flower like this in the corner, don't think, oh, I can't use that because it's cut off. Look what I did. This is how I use those flowers. Now I'm going to cover, we signed it already. So I use that and put it right in the corner. So, and then I cut out a leaf and stuck on it too. And then on the envelope, I just did, I just stamped on the corner and on the back flap. So those corner flowers, don't throw them away. They are great for inside cards, and you don't have to stamp anything. I did the same thing on this, the green one. This one wasn't a corner, but it was on a bottom edge, so I just used that, put it on the inside of the card. So that was just another sample I wanted to show you using that paper. It is beautiful. Okay, let me get this out of the way before we start assembling our sample card. We'll put all that back in later. Okay, so I pre-cut all of my pieces too, and I'm going to get my Stampin' Pierce mat because this stamp set is a photopolymer. So I like to put the Stampin' Pierce mat underneath. These are the dots that go with it, the glossy dots assortment that go with that suite. So you have the colors, you have the Gorgeous Grape, the Melon Mambo. What's the blue? I think is Pool Party. And then Daffodil Delight. So goes so nice with that. So here's all the measurements. Here's my sample card. I'll hold on to that for a minute before I show you. So I used a punch, or a die actually, 2x2. You can use a 2x2 square. I used the circle die from, which punch did I use, or die set? I didn't put it in there. But it is, oh, it's the current one. Stylish Shapes, maybe? The one I showed you? I'll check and let you know. So then the paper, you've got 2 pieces of DSP. One is 5 1/4 by 2 1/2, and one is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. Sorry, I meant to say with this, if you don't have a die cut piece or a punch piece, you can just use a 2x2 square. So that's what I started out with, and then I just die cut it from there. So if you don't have a die cutting machine even, you can just cut out the square piece of paper and use that way. And then the cardstock, I'm using Night of Navy. So the base scored a little bit differently, or cut a little differently, I guess. Instead of it being 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, this one is 5 1/2 by 7. And then on your long side, you scored at 4 1/4. So this part's still the same as a regular card base. This one has the edge missing. Okay, so this is going to be our front. And then you can probably see what's going to happen here. This is the other piece of cardstock, so you want same color. 4 1/2 by 2 1/2, and then you score it at 1/2 inch. I'm going to fold that piece, and then this piece is for the inside, so 5 1/4 by 4. So this is going to be a flap card, and it's going to go like this and open up. Okay. So I'll take the measurements off. There we go. And I'll show you how to put it together. And let me show you my sample. So this one is, so this is the sample I made using the paper. I used a couple of the gems, put the paper on. I realized after when I was looking at it, I think the paper's kind of upside down, even though flowers are not really directional, but to me that looked more the right way around. Obviously I wasn't paying attention when I did it. And then I just stamped on the inside. I didn't do any coloring, I just stamped. And I put the greeting in the center so that it would be covered when the card is closed. And I just put these on the corner to add a little something. This card was cased from, I wrote her name down, hold on. Tina Kavergic. Sorry, it's hard to pronounce. Tina Kavergic. I cased this from her. Used different papers but same pattern or same design. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if you have a bone folder, just press your paper so that you don't get, stays down a little bit better. And same thing with this side. So I'm going to attach my first piece of designer paper, and that's going to be your longer piece. See if I can get it the right way around this time. So that's going to go on this flap. Okay. So your longest piece of paper. Grab me. And are we running over time? Let's see. Oh, 4:17. Okay. That seems to work with the Stampin' seal. I was having trouble with it rolling out, but I'm going to do it this way because I can see it better. See the edge. I just wanted to line it up. And I like this one with the Night of Navy because the background of the flowers is Night of Navy. There we go. And then you can attach this. I attached this before I put my paper. Now, some people I've seen, they push this into the edge of the paper and then put it inside. But it doesn't really make a difference, I guess. I just like it being out to the edge. So you've got that, when you attach your designer paper to it, it actually comes an even border all the way around. So you can do it either way. You can put it all the way in there. Let's attach this piece too first. And this one is kind of, yeah, that's more the up direction. Okay. Don't put your inside until you stamp it first, because if you make a mistake, you can flip it over or use a new piece. If you already have it attached, it makes it a lot more difficult. So you can eyeball this and put it in, or you can attach this. This is probably the easier. Attach it to the back there, and put it in the middle. I did the other one the other way, so let's do this one that way. And I'm just running my tape down the edge, and I'm gonna eyeball this. Now the other thing is, if you're going to stamp on it and you want to flip it over, if you attach it to this, you should stamp on it first. So let's do that. Can you still see my sample? Yes, you can. Okay. So on my sample card, I used it as a birthday card. And I'm using Night of Navy ink because that's with the base. So I just wanted to, I like to coordinate the colors. These are just the scraps I had to show that you could use that instead of a die cut piece. So put those to the side. Grab a couple of blocks here. And I put my blocks to the side as well, so I'd be ready. I'm going to need the longer block for the greeting, though. So the front said, "You're wonderful in every way." It's this one. And then inside, "Happy birthday." We could also do "Wishing you all the happiness you can imagine." But I think, let me see if that one, I thought it might be too wide for the, no, that one will fit actually. So let's do that one. Just so we have a variety. And again, you can use whatever greeting you have or want. Put my Knight of Navy to the side here. And because these are photopolymer, you can line them up easily. And this is for my, oh, I got too much ink in that ink pad. I made a mess. Hopefully I don't get it on my circle. There we go. Wishing you all the happiness you can handle. And before I get everything in a mess, I like to stamp off some of the excess ink on my grid paper or my scrap paper. Clean in the chamois. And a new chamois for today. My other one was starting to, I won't say disintegrate, but I guess it was probably just too much stuff on it, even though I had washed it. It seemed like little pieces of, it's like lint always, was sticking to the stamps. So I thought it was time for a new one. Okay, I also used this tiny little stamp to go around the edges here, and that's what I used in the corner. So again, whatever stamp set you're using, you can have just the greeting, that's totally fine. You can stamp something around the edges if you want. That's entirely up to you. I'll take the same little stamp again. And I just did the flowers, I didn't do the stems because I just wanted like a little bit here. And then a little bit at the top here. There we go. Just to add a little bit to it. Okay, inside I use that one in the corner. So let's do that while I still have that stamp out. This time I did do it with a stem and all. And I just wanted something like that, so it wouldn't be just white squares here showing. I thought it would be pretty to have just, you could color those in if you want. I was too lazy, to be honest. I may do it later. I may color them in before I actually give the card to anybody. There we go. And you could use the same stamp up the side if you wanted to stamp something up the side. You could use a strip of designer paper. That would be really pretty too on the inside. Second. I'm going to do the same, I think, with the flowers along the edge because it coordinates nice with the paper. And I use the smaller flower instead of the big one. Use either one. Actually, why don't we use the big one this time? Change it up a little bit. So this one you won't have to stamp as many times. And I turn my paper sideways. And I like to start off the edge, but I don't want to take up too much space because I still need to stamp a greeting inside. There we go. That's cute. And then if I was doing an envelope, I would do the same thing as I did with the Mother's Day cards and stamp the corner of the envelope, probably on the front and the back. Actually, I have an envelope here. I can do it, so it's ready to go. I'll do two, so I have one for each card now. So there's our inside, and we still have to do a greeting on that. I usually stamp it in this corner. I don't know why, it's just me. Now, it might be fun to do it like this, so when you connect it, they join. Just make sure you have them lined up when you do that. Otherwise, they won't join when you... And if your card is too bulky, that might have been a mistake because it might not seal properly or in line. This one I'll just stamp here, just in case. There we go. Okay, envelope's done. All we need here is the greeting. I used the happy birthday. So wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. I could do best wishes, and then it doesn't have to be birthday. I think I will. Could be a more general. And now, one thing you do want to do is kind of eyeball where the middle of your card is, because you want it. I got glue on that, so don't stick it down yet. So it's going to be right around there. So I want to make sure I'm below this line. So right across here in this flower should be a good spot. Best wishes. Try to do it straight. There we go. Now, you see how that I got ink on the top? Sometimes if you want to stamp down and up, if you tilt your stamp, you're going to get this on your card, and that's going to mess up your inside. So wipe it first, or just make sure to stamp down and up without tilting your block. And if I tilted my block when I stamped it in the ink pad, because it was not directly in front of me. So just going to clean those off quickly, because otherwise I'll have my card, a piece of my card stuck in it if I don't. Which is the same reason why I close my ink pads too right away, because I've done that before. And this one has gotten a little bit more in the grooves. And you can always flip it over. I had some on the edge of that too. Okay. So I think that's all of our stamping done. So I will move my mat out of the way. And that's the Stampin' Pierce mat, by the way. And it just gives you the foam because it has these are photopolymer, so they don't have the foam behind them like the red rubber stamps do. So that gives you the foam and helps. It's not as bad with line images, but if you have filled in images, sometimes it skips a spot if you don't use the foam mat underneath. So since I put this on the inside, I'm going to line this up and fold it over here. There we go. Now I'm ready to attach this. And I'm going to put some all along there where that piece is, because I want to make sure that stays attached too. That's just me. Oops. See what I mean about that if you don't break it? And then it kind of, sometimes you have to roll it up to get it going. So I found that to be a pretty good trick. So this way, your flat piece is inside, and when you look at the back, you don't see that when you fold over this card. So I'm going to line that up. Try to get it even all the way around. If you use liquid glue, multi-purpose liquid glue, you have a little bit of wiggle room to do this because you can move it a little bit when you put it down. But when you use seal, it pretty much sticks when you put it down. Now, I'm going to flip it over just in case there's ink on my hands. and rub around the edges. Little trick. There. So we've got the basic part done. And this one again, I'll just give it another little crease because it keeps wanting to pop open, but that's just because of the layers. Okay, so now we want to, oh, I was going to tell you if you wanted to do ribbon, I did the same with my first card. If you want to do ribbon, you could have wrapped it around your DSP before you attached it. This one I didn't. I wrapped it right around the whole thing and just tied the bow on it. You don't have to do ribbon, but I will. Should I do more blue? Or maybe, oh, I'm going to bring in some pink. Let's see what that looks like. I think this pink one, the pink one and the teal are my favorites. And the teal in the ribbon, to me, it looks so much nicer than the paper. I just like that color of teal. So I'm just going to wrap this around. Now, I always do my bows while the ribbon is still on because I try to save a little bit of ribbon that way. Tie a knot. And the other thing you want to do, you're not going to give me enough, is actually, it's hard to keep this when you're tying the bow to keep it tight. I have seen people clip that. I usually just tie a second knot so it stays where it is, and then it's easier for you to tie the bow. And those of you who come to my classes, sorry, I can't tie your bow today. You're on your own. So I'm pulling the knot tight, and then I'm sticking my finger there and pulling the second knot. There we go. So that gives us tighter. And then I wrap this around. Or you could do the bunny ears. Now, I don't want loops that big, so I'm going to pull my knot and pull it back. That's better. There we go. And my scissors to trim the edge. Always trim on an angle. Trim the edge. Now you can, I think I did on the other one, I stuck a little glue dot underneath there because I didn't want that bow moving around too much. And actually I forgot to tie the second knot, so it was starting to come loose. So I just grab a glue dot. Now I roll it up a little bit like this so that it stays under and it doesn't, other stuff doesn't get stuck in it. Put it right underneath, push the ribbon down, and then pull it off my tool. There we go. Oh, I like the pink with it. That looks cute. Okay, now I put this on dimensionals. I'm gonna put my dimensionals back. Some people go nuts with dimensionals. I'm gonna do 3. Sometimes I would just do 1 actually, but it's totally up to you. And because I don't have to worry about going to the edges because this is smaller than my piece of paper. So I'm going to kind of center that within my card here. There we go. And then because I use the pink ribbon, I'm actually going to use the pink dots. So where did I put my dots? See, this is always my problem. I can't find my dots anymore. You're probably looking, saying, there. Oh, I found my, from my previous card. I'll use those because I wanted the pink anyway. So on this one, I put it in the flowers, and then I put one below here. Again, entirely up to you where you want to put them. I just thought it was kind of cute to put them, to have the pop like in the middle of the flowers there. And you could use, I mean, whatever, you can use these if you have some of these left over from what I gave you, if they coordinate with the designer paper that you picked. And where do we put this big one? I kind of like to triangulate too. I'm going to put it here, but I think I'm going to put it over in this corner. Or this corner. Decisions down here. Okay. That's the mystery card. Done. And now I want to see what you guys all made. So start posting them in the comments when you finish them. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was kind of off camera there. Start posting them in the comments and let me see what you made. Very versatile layout, and with the DSP, you hardly need to do any stamping. It's really just the inside and then the greeting. So you could color in these little flowers if you wanted to, but I think because we have so much color behind with the designer paper, it looks good just doing it like that. So this is our last session. Oh, and I just noticed one more thing I want to show you about these dies. And Mary Lou, I know this was something that you really liked. So you have the 2 edge dies right here, these 2 edges. This is how they cut out your paper. So this one is like a torn notebook type of look. And I had to use thick because, like I said, I ran out of basic white. So this is thick, so it doesn't move as much. The regular paper, this would be a little more flimsy and you could do it, play with it a bit. And then this is the other edge, so almost like, what would you call that? Like a movie reel, reminds me of. So the first time I cut it, I put my die the wrong way. So one edge actually cuts. I put the cutting edge here and it cut the whole piece off. So make sure your cutting edge is on the outside, and then your die will go in the right way. And so it may, whatever the width of your paper, you can cut it. You can put this on one edge or both edges. And then, so these are what they look like, just cut out as is. You could use that as a border too. That would be cute. Torn notebook is great for making a journal. Yes, definitely, Mary Lou. And then this is the other, where's my black paper I wanted to show you on this. This is the other die, and this is so pretty, I think, as a background piece. So that's this die right here, and it cuts out, but it also does some stitching and does some little, it's like partial leaves, like they're not totally cut, so they stay in there. And I think that would be really nice as a background piece too. Haven't used it in anything yet, but this is old olive, I think, so might have to try to incorporate that into something. I think that was it, but I realized that I forgot, when we did the in colors, I forgot to tell you about the starter kit. No pressure to anybody, I just want to tell you because it's a great deal. And the starter kit, some of you know, some of you have purchased it before. You're actually signing up when you purchase the starter kit, but you don't have to run it as a business if you don't want to. You can simply just buy it. I've had lots of customers who just buy it for the deal, and then they don't keep up their minimums, and their membership or demonstratorship just automatically expires at the end. So you get 3 full months a quarter. And then, but this deal, they have a special for May. You get a lot, you get $91 extra in free stuff of in color. So you get all 5 ink pads. You get an assorted pack of the in color cardstock. You get an assortment of the in color designer series paper, and you get the in color grid paper. So that's, I think it was $91.25, the value of this. You get it for free with your starter kit. Your starter kit, you pick $165 worth of products, but you only pay $135. And you don't, in Ontario anyway, you don't pay shipping and you don't pay taxes. And you get a free paper pumpkin kit. So with all the value of the items, if you had to pay shipping and tax, you would pay $359 for all of that stuff. But this special, you pay $135 flat, and it's delivered to your door. So just want to tell you about it. No pressure. There's a lot of cool perks to being a demonstrator. You get access to the catalogs early. You get to pre-order. We've got lots of Facebook groups where you see samples and ideas that are just for demonstrators. And we also have special demonstrator events that you can sign up for. And some are kind of business oriented, others are just crafting oriented. So just want to put out there, there's a little flyer in your launch packet. Oh, there's my dots. Little flyer in your launch packet. No pressure whatsoever, but I just want to let you know because it is such a great deal and it's just on for May. So reminder, my coupon, if you have it or you virtually have it, if you place an order of $20 or more today and tomorrow, you get $5 off. And if I order it for you, that'll come off before you pay. If you order in the online store, I will send you a transfer, an e-transfer for $5. So thank you everybody for joining me. I've really had a great afternoon. I hope you have too. Don't forget to send me your answers for your treasure hunt. And Monday night, I don't know what time, probably around 8 o'clock Eastern time, I'll go on and do the draws for the 4. Oh, let me show you the prizes, the last 2. So the prize for the last session is Textures and Frames. This was a celebration stamp set. Again, brand new. Oh, that's a photo. Polymer, so I'll show you, brand new. That is going to be the draw for session 4. And then for the treasure hunt is also a stamp set that just retired from the recent catalog, but again, brand new. Tasteful Touches. This was a really nice stamp set and has some greetings and some pictures, so very versatile. So this one will be the prize for the treasure hunt. Okay, so get your answers into me before midnight tomorrow night, Sunday night. And Monday, I will come on live for just a few minutes and do all the draws. So Monday, I'll be calculating everyone's totals, seeing how many entries you get. And I will also be adding up or going through your treasure hunts and seeing who got the right answers. And if everybody got the right answers, we'll do a draw for those too. So thank you, everybody. I've had a really great afternoon, and I thank you so much for joining me. Comment, share, tag a friend, get you all extra entries, and helps get my channel out there. So people, just trying to boost my viewership a little bit with that, but it gets you more entries too. So I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you joining me today and participating. I haven't had a chance to read all the comments, but I promise I will go through them all this evening and reply to everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll talk soon. I'll see you online on Monday evening. Have a great Mother's Day to those of you who are mothers. Bye-bye.